1. Lane 3, Parker Russell from Lakeside Swim Team. Lane 5, Brooklyn Lewis of Excel Aquatics. NCSA record of the women's 400 IM, 4:42.25. Zoe Dixon, Nova of Virginia, 2021. Brooklyn Lewis out front here. Excel Aquatics in lane 5. 100 turn at 111.32. Parker Russell from Lakeside in lane 3, 113.86. Again, this is the first of 8 preliminary heats in women's 400 IM. Through the backstroke, Brooklyn Lewis, Excel Aquatics, 230.44. Parker Russell, 233.84. On the breaststroke leg here, Parker Russell, Lakeside, zooms to the front. Finishes up her breaststroke leg, 4:00.72. Now into freestyle on the back end. Brooklyn Lewis turned at the 300, 4:04.44. Brooklyn Lewis, Excel Aquatics coming into the wall to finish off Heat 1, 5:14.29. Heat 2. Heat 2, Lane 1, Peyton Robick, Tide Riders. Lane 2, Brianna Fleming, Nation's Capital. Lane 3, Alyssa Deal, Lakeside. Lane 4, Kira Hunter, Zionsville. Lane 5, Kaylee Dela Cruz, Academy Bullets. Lane 6, Anna Kate Barr from Team Greenville. Lane 7, Sophia Lyons, Long Island Aquatic. Lane 8, Vanessa Marsh for Shark Swim Club. Dela Cruz from Academy Bullets turning at the 100, 105.73. Second at the 100 wall, Peyton Robick of Tide Riders, 108.02. .200 turn, Kaylee Dela Cruz, Academy Bullets, 227.08. Robick from Tide Riders in lane 1, 228.30, and third at the 200. In lane 6, Anna Kate Barr, Team Greenville. Alyssa Deal, Lakeside Swim Team at the end of the breaststroke, 3:54.42. Anna Kate Barr, Greenville Swim Club, second in lane 6. And third now, Peyton Robick, Tide Riders. going to be Alyssa Deal, Lakeside Swim Team here in Heat 2. Alyssa's time, 5:05.24. Heat 3. Heat 3, lane 1, Brooklyn Rager from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. Lane 2, Laura Roth, Nation's Capital. Lane 3, Carolyn Kilty, also from Nation's Capital. Lane 4, Sydney Green, Lakeside Swim Team. Lane 5, Ayla Madeira, Fast Tigers. Lane 6, Germantown Academy, Avery Holzer. Lane 7, Mecklenburg Swimming, Ellie Druhan. Lane 8, Maeve Atwood of New Trier Aquatics. Hundred turn, and Carolyn Kilty, Nation's Capital, 106.89, ahead of Ayla Madeira, Fishers Area Swimming Tigers, 107.23. Ayla Madeira now leading the way, lane 5, 227.83 at the 200. Laura Roth, Nation's Capital, second in lane 2, third in lane 6, Avery Holzer, Germantown Academy. Laura Roth now into the lead. On the breaststroke, she turns out the 300, 358.72, ahead of Green from Lakeside in lane 4. Sydney Green, Lakeside Swim Team, comes back on the freestyle. Sydney touching in a time of 5:07.71. Heat 4. Heat 4, Lane 1, Alex Kaufman of Sandpipers in Nevada. Lane 2, Kalina Aw, Mansfield Aquatic Club. Lane 3, Layla Miglietta, Nassau Wildcat Aquatics. Lane 4, Oriole Hall, Nova of Virginia. Lane 5, Gabby Green of Gateway. Lane 6, Emily Heights, Team Greenville. Lane 7, Carolyn Linkus of H2Oki Aquatics. And Lane 8, Molly Gonzalez, Academy Bullets. Hundred turn, Gabby Green from Gateway out front, 106.03. And Emily Heights of Greenville, 107.82. .200 turn coming up here. Gabby Green, 224.64. Molly Gonzalez, Academy Bullets, second in lane 8, 225.51. And Emily Heights, Greenville, is third in lane 6 at the 200. Through the breaststroke, Molly Gonzalez, Academy Bullets, lane 8, leading the way ahead of Emily Heights. Team Greenville in lane 6, who turned in a 3:54.16. Heights, Team Greenville, lane 6, leading the back. Emily Heinz touching in a time of 5:00.91. Heat 5. Heat 5, lane 1, Ava Murray from Zionsville Swim Club. Lane 2, Macy DeGroot, Shark Swim Club. Lane 3, Tamara Kret, New Trier Aquatics. Lane 4, Ali Casanovas, Academy Bullets. Lane 5, Charlotte Brown of Tide Riders. Lane 6, Millie Riddick of Mecklenburg. Lane 7, McKinley Busen of Nation's Capital. And lane 8, Charlotte Bruning of Nova of Virginia. Hundred turn with McKinley Busen, Nation's Capital, lane 7, out front, 106.85. Second at the 100 turn, Ali Casanovas, Academy Bullets, 106.89. Ali Casanovas, Academy Bullets, lane 4, into the lead through the backstroke. She turns into 2:23.33. Second in lane 6, Millie Riddick, Mecklenburg Swimming, 2:24.08. And third in lane 2, Macy DeGroot, Shark Swim Club at the 200. Ali Casanovas, Academy Bullets, still out front here through the breaststroke leg. She turns in a time, 3:49.91. Tamara Kret, New Trier, second in lane 3, 3:54.11. I just had a lost cell phone turned into my position. If you are missing a cell phone, come see me here at my announced position. This may be yours. Half a length to go here. Ali Casanovas of Academy Bullets. This is heat 5 of 8 to be swum here in the preliminaries of women's 400 IM this morning. Casanovas touching in a 4:59.07. Heat 6. Heat 6, first of our circle-seated heats in the preliminaries of women's 400 IM. Lane 1, Carolyn Whitney for Suburban Seahawks. Lane 2, Penelope Chow, North Carolina Aquatic. Lane 3, Ariana Aldeguire of Nation's Capital. Lane 4, Catherine Workington, Sandpipers of Nevada. Lane 5, Amelia Edwards, Nation's Capital. Lane 6, Macy McCarter, Mecklenburg Swimming. Lane 7, Lauren Wedeking, Kentucky Aquatics. And Lane 8, Haley Hunter of Zionsville Swim Club. Hundred turn and out front, Haley Hunter, Zionsville Swim Club, 106.48. Head of Catherine Workington, Sandpipers of Nevada, lane 4, 107.13. Now into the lead, lane 6, Mason McCarter, Mecklenburg, working through the backstroke. Second position, Amelia Edwards, Nation's Capital, lane 5. Macy McCarter turning at the 200, 223.58. Ariana Aldeguar, Nation's Capital, second at the 200, a time of 224.62. And third, Amelia Edwards, lane 5 from Nation's Capital. Haley Hunter, Zionsville Swim Club, back into the lead. Working through the breaststroke here in heat 6. Lane 8, Haley Hunter. center of Zionsville. Turning into the freestyle of 353.79, second position. In lane 3, Ariana Aldeguar, Nation's Capital, 355.15. And third at the 300, Amelia Edwards, Nation's Capital in lane 5. .350 turn. Hunter still out front. In lane 8, then it's Edwards, then it's Aldeguar. Amelia Edwards in lane 5, Nation's Capital. Going to touch first here in heat 6 in a time of 5:00.97. Heat 7. Heat 7, lane 1, Colleen Tracy from Chicago Wolfpack. Lane 2, Brantley Patterson, Nova of Virginia. Lane 3, Hayes Williams, also of Nova of Virginia. Lane 4, Casey Brager, Lakeside Swim Team. Lane 5, Paige Kowal, Academy Bullets. Lane 6, Mia Jones, Kentucky Aquatics. Lane 7, Livia Krummer of Chicago Wolfpack. And lane 8, Abby Schneider, Team Greenville. Once again, I've had a cell phone turned into my announce position here. If anybody's missing a cell phone, swing by and see me. This may belong to you. Casey Brager from Lakeside going to turn at the end of the butterfly, 104.26. Second position, lane 6, Mia Jones, Kentucky Aquatics. 105.69, and third at the 100, lane 5, Paige Kowal, Academy Bullets. Through the backstroke, Casey Brager, Lakeside in lane 4, 2:18.55. Ahead of Jones, Kentucky Aquatics in lane 6, 2:22.29. And a third now, Krummer from Chicago Wolfpack, lane 7, 2:23.14. Turning into the freestyle, Casey Brager, Lakeside, 347.16 ahead of Hayes Williams, Nova of Virginia in lane 3 at a 348.20. Third is Livia Kremer, Chicago Wolfpack in lane 7. Half a length to go here in Heat 7. Preliminaries of the women's 400 IM. Casey Brager, Lakeside. Just ahead of Hayes Williams, Nova of Virginia in lane 3. It's going to be Casey Brager of Lakeside in a time of 4:55.99. 4:55.99, the quickest so far. One more heat left to go, Heat 8. Final preliminary heat of the women's 400 IM. Lane 1, Emma Falk from Tide Riders. Lane 2, Joy Chang, Chicago Wolfpack. Lane 3, Angela Kadori, Rockville Montgomery. Lane 3, Madison Sachecki, Suburban Seahawks. Lane 5, Louise Vidarson, Mecklenburg. Lane 6, Emily Schneider of Greenville. Lane 7, Jordan Glassley of Fort Wayne Swim Team. And Lane 8, Stella Succi of Edina Swim Club. Emily Schneider, Team Greenville at the 100, 106.31. Head of Louise Vidarson, Mecklenburg in lane 5, 106.69. Vidarson now into the lead, lane 5, ahead of Schneider in lane 6. .200 turn for Louise Vidarson of Mecklenburg, 2:18.76. Second to turn at the 200, Emily Schneider, Team Greenville in lane 6, 2:21.48. And third in lane 4, Madison Sachecki, Suburban Seahawks. Turning at the end of the breaststroke, it's going to be Louise Vidarson of Mecklenburg. 346. Correction, yeah, 346.36. Second in lane one, Emma Falk of Tide Riders, 346.51. And third, Sucheki in lane four. Emma Falk, Tide Riders at the 350 turn, ahead of Sucheki. Vidarson now third in lane five. Quick time out of the last heat, 4:55.99. And Emma Falk of Tide Riders in a time of 4:53.08, the quickest posting in the preliminaries of the women's 400 IM. '21 preliminary heats in men's 200 freestyle, heat one. Lane one, Lucas Ford, Machine Aquatics. Lane two, Milo Jakowski for Izwaki Aquatics. Lane three, Isaac Simonis for H2Oki Aquatics. Lane four, Lucas Sable, Machine Aquatics. Lane five, Caleb Yurfi for Mecklenburg. And lane six, David Mazurik from New Trier. And lane seven, Hamza Hasni from Lakeside. Swimmers and coaches, event 19, the women's 400 IM now posted. Time now is 9:14, 30-minute scratch rule in effect for event 19. Hundred turn and out in front. Lane six, David Mazurik, New Trier Aquatics. Now Caleb Yorfi, Mecklenburg, lane five, moves ahead of Mazurik into the wall, and Caleb touching in a 2:01.89. Heat two. Heat two, lane one, Shane Kelly for Brownsburg Swim Club. Lane three, Luke Bruner for Ole Swimming. Lane four, Logan Schifrin for Aquatic Team of Mecklenburg. Lane five, Mason Mollering of Gateway. Lane six, Joshua Peters, Edina Swim Club. Lane seven, Cole Gameni of Arlington Aquatic Club. And lane eight, Wyatt Norick of Indiana Swim Club. Gangamee from Arlington Aquatic turning at the 157.52 ahead of Luke Bruner. Ole swimming. Lane 3, 59.18. Heat 2 coming into the wall. Touching first, Luke Bruner. Ole swimming, 159.67. Heat 3. Heat 3, lane 1. Luke Deutschman of Gateway. Lane 2, Max McMillan of Gateway. Lane 3, Austin Pape, Nation's Capital. Lane 4, Gordon Barris, Nation's Capital. Lane 5, Levi Smith of Rockville, Montgomery. Lane 6, Adam Harris of Mecklenburg. Lane 7, Preston Huff, Brownsburg Swim Club. Lane 8, Warren Pang of Long Island Aquatic Club. Levi Smith, Rockville, Montgomery, turns at the 156.52. Head of Gordon Barris of Nation's Capital, lane 4, 58.38. Levi Smith now to the front at the 150. Turned into 127.10 ahead of Barris in lane 4. Levi Smith, Rockville, Montgomery, 159.15. Heat 4. Heat 4, lane 1, Josh Agans of Team Pittsburgh. Lane 2, Veer Puri of Aquatic Team of Mecklenburg. Lane 3, Maxwell Yao, Long Island Aquatic. Lane 4, Zach Peterson, Academy Bullets. Lane 5, Alex Palavenpur of Machine Aquatics. Lane 6, James Burns, Suburban Seahawks. Lane 7, Ben York of Team Greenville. And lane 8, Henry Williams, Machine Aquatics. James Burns, Suburban Seahawks. 100 turn at 55.92. Ahead of lane 4, Zach Peterson, Academy Bullets, 57.50. Racing down here to the finish in heat 4. Into the lead, lane 4, Zach Peterson, Academy Bullets. Peterson's time, 1:58.20. Heat 5. Heat 5, lane 1, Mark Crook, Mountain Valley Aquatics. Lane 2, Cormac McEwen, New Trier Aquatics. Lane 3, Ethan Cintron, Long Island Aquatic. Lane 4, Alex Atkins of Gateway. Lane 5, Matthew Cockler of Nation's Capital. Lane 6, Brady Wright, Zionsville Swim Club. Lane 7, Adam Malik Azuriza of Dad's Club. And lane 8, Luke Wainert of Nova of Virginia. Hundred turn and leading the way out of lane 2, Cormac McEwen, New Trier, 57.50 ahead of Mark Crook, Mountain Valley Aquatics in lane 1, 57.52. Mark Crook to the lead at the 150. 127.79 ahead of Cormac McEwen. Third at the 150, Cintron of Long Island Aquatic Club, lane 3. Mark Crook, Mountain Valley Aquatics, starts to pull away there in lane 1. And Crook is going to take heat 5 in a time of 1:57.78. Heat 6. Heat 6, lane 1, Everett Pumphrey, New Trier Aquatics. Lane 2, Daniel Scott, Chicago Wolfpack. Lane 3, Lewis Conslin, Excel Aquatics. Lane 4, Kevin Lee, Rockville Montgomery. Lane 5, Cade Taylor, Team Greenville. Lane 6, Michael Savisky, New Trier Aquatics. Lane 7, Riggins Auto, Suburban Seahawks. And lane 8, Zach Bender of Nova of Virginia. NCSA record of the men's 200 freestyle, 149.17. Alec Enyart, Tsunami Swim Team, 2022. Michael Savisky turning at the 100, 56.67. Ahead of Cade Taylor, Team Greenville, lane 5, 57.11. Now Cade Taylor, Team Greenville at the 150 out front, 127.14 ahead of Savisky in lane 6. Cade Taylor, Team Greenville brings it in, 156.59. Heat 7. Heat 7, lane 1, Daniel Chen at Dad's Club. Lane 2, Carter Varley of Portland Porpoise. Lane 3, Liam Condon, Ole Swimming. Lane 4, Marcus Rasmussen, Germantown Academy. Lane 5, Matthew Weeks, Irish Aquatics. Lane 6, Charlie Mahoney, Old North State Aquatics. Lane 7, Nathan Searles of Tsunami. And lane 8, Kingston Dealey of Excel Aquatics. Hundred turn and out in front. Lane 3, Liam Condon, Ole Swimming, 57.16. Headed Daniel Chen, Dad's Club in lane 1, 57.33. Liam Condon, Ole Swimming in lane 3. First to touch out of heat 7, 157.09. Heat 8. Heat 8, lane 1, Camden Theodos from Tide Riders. Lane 2, Jeremiah Thomas of Shark Swim Club. Lane 3, Charlie Sears, New Trier Aquatics. Lane 4, Ned Scott, Nations Capital. Lane 5, JP Costello of Tide Riders. Lane 6 is Garrett Klein, Work, Indiana Tidal Wave. Lane 7, Ben Kelly, Wilmington Aquatic Club. Lane 8, Lubo, Leo Charbadisky of New Trier Aquatics. At the 100, Charlie Sears, New Trier in lane 3, 56.25, second position. Lane 4, Ned Scott, Nations Capital, 56.58. Into the lead now, Ned Scott at the 150. Nations Capital turned in a 126.59. Headed Charlie Sears and New Trier in lane 3. Ned Scott, Nations Capital into the wall, 156.41. Heat 9. Heat 9, lane 1, Gray McKelvey, Team Pittsburgh. Lane 2, Forrest Thompson, Lakeside Swim Team. Lane 3, Austin Pritz, Boilermaker Aquatic. Lane 4, Parker Eford, Dad's Club. Lane 5, Max Moldovan, Chicago Wolfpack. Lane 6, Jay Huang of Nassau Wildcat Aquatics. Lane 7, Lionel Martinez of Nations Capital. And Lane 8, Max Walk of North Carolina Aquatic. Austin Pritz here, lane 3 from Boilermaker Aquatic. Nice lead at the 100 here in Heat 9. Pritz turns in a 55.21 ahead of Forrest Thompson, Lakeside, 57.19. .50 turn for Austin Pritz, 125.10. Second position, lane 5. Max Moldovan of Chicago Wolfpack at the 150. Moldovan turned in a 127.89. Austin Pritz is going to have our new quick time, 154.75. Heat 10. Heat 10, lane 1, Daniel Bungie, Nova of Virginia. Lane 3, Dylan Sears, New Trier Aquatics. Lane 3, Austin Fastrich, Hershey Aquatic Club. Lane 4, Harrison Lee, Lakeside Swim Team. Lane 5, Denali Cutbush Taylor from North Carolina Aquatic Club. Lane 6, Will Rose of Lakeside. Lane 7, Maxwell Johnson of Eagle Swim Team. And lane 8, Caden Nagel of Edina Swim Club. Leading at the 100, lane 1, Daniel Bungie, Nova of Virginia, turns in a 56.01. Ahead of Caden Nagel, Edina Swimming in lane 8, 56.57. .150 turn for Daniel Bungie, turned in a 126.20. Nagel still second in lane 8. Heat 10 into the wall. Lane 1, Daniel Bungie, Nova of Virginia, 156.26. Heat 11. Heat 11, lane 1, John Landers of Greenwich YWCA. Lane 2, Nick Lubin, Boilermaker Aquatic. Lane 3 is Lachlan Hirth of Lakeside. Lane 4, Grayson Riddick of Izwaki Aquatics. Lane 5, Ashton Boki of Chicago Wolfpack. Lane 6, James Kratz, the nation's capital. Lane 7, Mark Edwards, Machine Aquatics. And lane 8, Chase Young of Huntsville Swim Association. Halfway through heat 11, and out in front, James Kratz, nation's capital, 56.07, ahead of Ashton Bokey, Chicago Wolfpack in lane 5, who turned in a 56.14. Kratz with the 150 split, 125.94. Bokey in lane 5, 126.75. Close one at the finish. James Kratz, nation's capital, 156.55. Heat 12. Heat 12, lane 1, Sam Cass, New Trier Aquatics. Lane 3, Wyatt Sutter of Peters Township. Lane 3, Daniel Mueller, Rockville Montgomery. Lane 4, Cale Chow, Chicago Wolfpack. Lane 5, Bryce Keaton, Carolina Aquatic. Lane 6, Harper Church, Team Greenville. Lane 7, Alan Wang, Nation's Capital. And lane 8, Brig Barnett, Rockville Montgomery. Out in front, Cale Chow, Chicago Wolfpack, turning at the 100, 55.72, ahead of Sam Cast, New Trier in lane 1, 55.92. Cale Chow is going to touch in a time of 155.04. Wyatt Stetter in this last heat from St. Peter's. It's his 17th birthday today. Into heat 13 we go. Heat 13, Lane 1, Carter Medley, Mecklenburg Swimming. Lane 2, Jamie Brinsfield, Suburban Seahawks. Lane 4, Michael Purcell of Gateway. Lane 5, Charlie Kelly, Chicago Wolfpack. Lane 6, Connor Manier, Nation's Capital. Lane 7, Dryden Finley of Gateway. And lane 8, Kyle O'Connor of Zwaukey Aquatics. Return with Dryden Finley from Gateway out front, 55.46. Second, Michael Purcell, also from Gateway, lane 4, turned into 56.10. Finley in 7, on the move in lane 4, Michael Purcell of Gateway. It's going to be Michael Purcell, 155.75. Heat 14. Heat 14, lane 1, Charlie Kidder, Kentucky Aquatics. Lane 2, Rocco Teich of Boilermaker Aquatics. Lane 3, Dylan Haver of Shark Swim Club. Lane 4, Gabe Hansen, Nation's Capital. Lane 5, Jack White, also Nation's Capital. Lane 6, Matthew Atkins of Dad's Club. Lane 7 is Stefan Tedek of New Trier Aquatics. And lane 8, Carter Schultz of Fisher's Area Swimming Tigers. Turn, and in lane 3, Dylan Haver, Sharks in a 55.75. Second at the 100, Charlie Kidder, Kentucky Aquatics. Lane 1, 55.78. Haver's still in the lead at the 150. Second position, Aikens from Dad's Club, lane 6. Dylan Haver, 155.26. Heat 15. Heat 15, lane 1, Yaron Lee, Nation's Capital. Lane 2, Jacob Clark, North Carolina Aquatic. Lane 3, Landon Cruz, Academy Bullets. Lane 4, Andrew Zhao of Dad's Club. Lane 5, Teddy Martin, Nova of Virginia. Lane 6, Aaron Euchre of Stingrays. Lane 7, Tommy Westerman of Team Pittsburgh. And lane 8, Walker Price of Lakeside Swim Team. Quick time so far out of Heat 9. Austin Pritz, 154.75. 100 turn, Jacob Clark, North Carolina Aquatic out front, 55.84. Actually, Clark turning at the same time as Walker Price Lakeside in lane 8, 55.84 for those two gentlemen. Jacob Clark, North Carolina Aquatic, 155.72. Heat 16. Heat 16, lane 1, Finn O'Shea, Nation's Capital. Lane 2, Riley Poirier of Eagle Swim Team. Lane 3, Cameron Roy, H2 Oki Aquatics. Lane 4, Brody Tyndall, Huntsville Swim Association. Lane 5, Ethan Chania, Long Island Express. Lane 6, Ben Franks, Nova of Virginia. Lane 7, Henry Cooper, Old North State Aquatics. And lane 8 is Sean Zhao of New Trier Aquatics. Hundred turn and leading the way. Brody Tyndall, Huntsville Swim Association, 55.31. Head of Cameron Roy, H2 Oki Aquatics in lane 3. Cameron Roy, H2 Oki Aquatics now into the lead. Turned at the 150, a time of 124.82 ahead of Tyndall in lane 4. Into the wall they come here, Heat 16, and first to touch, Cameron Roy, H2 Oki Aquatics, 154.86. Heat 17. Heat 17, lane 1, Nick Durcha, New Trier Aquatics. Lane 2, Augustus Friedel, Core Swimming. Lane 3, Anthony Korchnak, Boilermaker Aquatics. Lane 4, Benjamin Wasaki, Waukesha Express. Lane 5, Sawyer Wilson, Kentucky Aquatics. Lane 6, Henry Mura, Tide Riders. Lane 7, Bill McMinn of Lakeside. And lane 8, Will Bridges of Team Greenville. 100 turn, Nick Dersha, New Trier in lane 1, 55.11. Second at the 100, lane 5, Sawyer Wilson, Kentucky Aquatics, 55.45. .150 turn and out in front. Sawyer Wilson, Kentucky Aquatics, 123.83. Had a Nick Dersha, New Trier in lane 1. Sawyer Wilson, Kentucky Aquatics brings it in lane 5, 152.52. That's our quickest time so far as we head into Heat 18. Heat 18, lane 1, Xavier Kulak, Long Island Aquatic. Lane 2, Blaze Harrison, Lakeside Swim Team. Lane 3, Cameron Kitching, Shark Swim Club. Lane 5, Trevor Donnelly, Rockville, Montgomery. Lane 6, Braden Nagel, Academy Bullets. Lane 7, Dennis Aku from Long Island Express. And lane 8 is Clark Montgomery of Gateway. Cameron Kitching from Shark Swim Club turns at the 156.34. Head of Xavier Kulak, Long Island Aquatic Club, 56.53. Kitching's turn at the 150 in lane 3, 126.22. Second position now, lane 8, Clark Montgomery of Gateway. Cameron Kitching, 156.34, Heat 19. Heat 19, first of our circle-seated heats in the preliminaries of the men's 200 freestyle. Lane 1, Vaughn Muir, Old North State Aquatics. Lane 2, Jonathan Packard, Greenwich YWCA. Lane 3, Max Halpern, North Carolina Aquatic. Lane 4, Aiden Terezis, Iswaki Aquatics. Lane 5, Carter Rankin, Lakeside Swim Team. Lane 6, Luke Collins, Sandpipers of Nevada. Lane 7, Toby Wosu of Long Island Express. And lane 8, Oliver Ritchie from Germantown Academy. Aiden Terrazas, lane 4 for Iswaki, turns at the 155.62. Second position, lane 5, Carter Rankin, Lakeside, 55.72. Terrazas still out front at the 150, 124.22. Aiden Terrazas' Waukee Aquatics brings it in. Heat 19 and a time of 1:51.91. Heat 20. Heat 20, lane 1, Josh Farnsworth, Nova of Virginia. Lane 2, Will Jones of Kentucky Aquatics. Lane 3, Zach Fisher, Nova of Virginia. Lane 4, Toby Esposito, Sandpipers of Nevada. Lane 5, Cooper Zucker-Kemney of Rockville, Montgomery. Lane 6, Alistair Guth of Chicago Wolfpack. Lane 7, Henry Enston of Suburban Seahawks. And lane 8, Sam Jankowski of Lakeside. Toby Esposito of Sandpipers turns at the 100, 55.66. Head of Henry Aniston, Suburban Seahawks, 55.90. Henry Aniston, Suburban Seahawks, now leads at the 150, turned in at 124.75 ahead of Esposito. Quickest time turned in so far out of the last heat, 151.91 by Aiden Terrazas of Waukee Aquatics. Into the wall they come. And landing first, Henry Aniston, Suburban Seahawks, 153.95, Heat 21. Heat 21, our final preliminary heat in men's 200 freestyle. Lane 1, Brody Blatt of Tide Raiders. Lane 2, Jack Grimley of Suburban Seahawks. Lane 3, Jack Murphy, Academy Bullets. Lane 4, Benjamin Leginski, Ole Swimming. Lane 5, William Demokos Murphy, St. Andrews Aquatics. Lane 6, Teddy Peterson, Mecklenburg. Lane 7, Nazar Zukovsky of Team Pittsburgh. And lane 8, Ryan Wayner of Waukesha Express. Benjamin Leginski turns at the 100, 53.42. Second at the 100, William Demokos Murphy of St. Andrews, 54.47. Benjamin Leginski here of Ole, lane 4, coming in with a seed time, 150.89. Not too far off the NCSA record for this event, 149.17. Leginski turns at the 150, 121.92. Benjamin Leginski, Ole Swimming. His time, 151.36. Quickest posting in the preliminaries of the men's 200 freestyle this morning. Heading down to the scoreboard balcony end of the Natatorium, 50 breaststroke. Up next, 10 preliminary heats for the women. NCSA record of the women's 50 breaststroke, 31.62. Rachel Munson of Shorewood Swim Club in 2015. Heat 1. Lakiza in 1, Roberson in 2, Yancey in 3, Rilo in 4, Roth in 5, Siegel in 6, Jewell in 7, and Nikolic in lane 8. On the world first, Roth, time of 35.30. Heat 2. Swimmers and coaches, event 20, the men's 200 freestyle, now posted. Time now is 10:05. Heat 2, Hare in 1, McKee in lane 2, Lee in 3, Kramer in 4, Golden in 5, Thorne in 6, Portula in 7, and LaBelle in lane 8. And first on the wall, lane 7, Julia Bartula, Academy Bullets, 35.01. Heat 3. Munchel in 1, Robenbuck in 2, Beyer in 3, Philo in 4, Daly in 5, Buckley in 6, Fletcher in 7, and Gordon in lane 8. And this is heat 3 of 10 to be swum here. Preliminaries of women's 50 breaststroke. And first on the wall, Sophia Rogenbuck, Ole swimming, 35.51. .51 here in heat 3 for Rogenbuck. Heat 4. Heat 4, Morgan in 1, Struder in 2, Russell in 3, Lee in 4, Westfall in 5, Robick in 6, Schott in 7, and Nealon in lane 8. Emma Westfall, Coast Guard Blue Dolphins, lane 5 out front. Westfall's time, 34.34. Heat 5. Heat 5, France in 1, Manic in 2, Baroker in 3, Bassett in 4, Rogie in 5, Davis in 6, Mullater in 7, and Tansey in lane 8. Helen Manic, Academy Bullets in lane 2, 34.55. Heat 6. Heat 6, Loftus in 1, Baumgartner in 2, Lee in 3, Lasco in 4, Campbell in 5, Martin in 6, Nakula in 7, and Kelly in lane 8. Nicola in 7. And it is going to be Ariana Nicola, Academy Bullets, touching in a time of 33.23. Heat 7. Heat 7, Green in 1, Klein in 2, Hines in 3, Welch in 4, in 5, Gasecki in 6, Cortez Martinez in 7, and Hoopengarner in lane 8. Violet Welch, 33.61. Heat 8. Heat 8, the first of our circle seated heats in the preliminaries of women's 50 breaststroke. We got Roth in 1, Jones in 2, Drew in 3, Sachecki in 4, Moore in 5, Bolin in 6, Gonzalez in 7 and Smith in lane 8. Quick time so far out of heat 6. Ariana Nicola, 33.23. Heat 8 coming into the wall. And first to touch in lane 8, Lexi Smith, Dad's Club, 33.31. Heat 9. Heat 9, Calhoun in 1, McNeil in 2, Ramey in 3, Falk in 4, Deal in 5, Patton in 6, Ono in 7, and Benvenuto in lane 8. Lane 3, Kinsley Ramey, Lakeside, 33.59. Heat 10. Heat 10 is our final preliminary heat in women's 50 breaststroke. Sanjaya in 1, Peterson in 2, Knox in 3, Alderman in 4, Esparza in 5, Brown in 6, Montel in 7, and Gorski in lane 8. 33:23. Quickest time turned in so far, working through the preliminaries of this event. Touching first is Morgan Knox, Mecklenburg, 33.99. Twelve preliminary heats now in men's 50 breaststroke, heat 1. Heat 1, Meyer in 3, Pachuk in 4, Nugent in 5. And it's Nolan Lujan, NASA Wildcat Aquatics, 31:22. Heat 2. Heat 2, Sanjaya in 2, Cooper in 3, Bogner in 4, Baraga in 5, Schum in 6, Partridge in 7. Walt Cooper, Huntsville Swim Association, 31.08. Heat 3. Heat 3, Petrie in 1, Beard in 2. Desimone in 3, Langdon in 4, Robinson in 5, Shalom in 6, Delangel in 7, and Corbett in lane 8. Lane 5, Grant Robinson, Chicago Wolfpack, 30.73. Heat 4. Heat 4, Lee in 1, Aimi in 2, Frost in 3, Worgley in 4, DeCina in 5, Neal in 6, Lagler in 7, and Vandenstock in lane 8. Touching first here in Heat 4 is Jaden Lee of Nation's Capital, 30.37. Heat 5. Heat 5, Martinez in 1, Lechtenberg in 2, Ivaroni Garza in 3, Ward in 4, Filster, Melendez in 5, Kulak in 6, Giesemann in 7, Barnett in lane 8. Swimmers and coaches, event 21, women's 50 breaststroke, now posted and official. Time now is 10:20 on the wall here in Heat 5, Martinez, Nation's Capital, 30.52. Heat 6. Here in Heat 6, Upshaw in 1, Chu in 2, Lombardo in 3, Beckley in 4, Pollard in 5, Zhao in 6, Falara in 7, and Livesey in lane 8. Lombardo, lane 3, 29.78. Heat 7. Heat 7, White in 1, Sears in 2, Dawson in 3, Greer in 4, Char in 5, Spillane in 6, Areola in 7, and Abro in lane 8. NCSA record of the men's 50 breaststroke, 27.96. Sam Wolf of Badger Aquatics, 2024. And in lane 3, Jack Dawson, Rockville, Montgomery, 29.85. Heat 8. Heat 8, Martin in 1, Simons in 2, Robinson in 3, Vasquez in 4, Stutter in 5, Rabe in 6, So in 7, and Moran in lane 8. Chase Rabe in lane 6, 29.61. We need to see coaches from the following teams at the lower admin table. Again, we need to see coaches from the following teams at the lower admin table: Mecklenburg, Mansfield Aquatic, Academy, Ole, Rockville Montgomery, Lakeside, and Stingrays. We need to see those coaches at the lower admin table, please, as we head into Heat 9. Heat 9, Otto in 1, Fasterch in 2, Prince in 3, Archibald in 4, Beyer in 5, Hamilton in 6, Franks in 7, and Besdick in lane 8. Jack Hamilton, 29.37. Heat 10. Heat 10, first of our circle-seated heats and preliminaries, men's 50 breaststroke. We got Fantana in 1, Zhao in 2, Davis in 3, Tran in 4, Durham in 5, Saunders in 6, Zeng in 7, and Stoller in lane 8. First on the wall, Danny Saunders, Machine Aquatics, 29.04. Quickest posting so far as we head into Heat 11. Heat 11, Yao in 1, Wood in 2, Larkin in 3, Wayner in 4, Thomas in 5, Coe in 6, Dong in 7, and Scheringer in lane 8. Will Larkin, Waukesha Express, 29.59. Heat 12. Heat 12, our final preliminary heat of the men's 50 breaststroke. Boyd in 1, Jones in 2, Leo in 3, Bagoff in 4, Zahusky in 5, Yamamoto in 6, Hardy in 7, and Shaper in lane 8. Jacob Bagoff, 29.09. Next up, we're going to have 16 preliminary heats in the women's 100 backstroke. Heat 1. Heat 1 in 3, Francis Nova of Virginia. Lane 4, Nevins of Mecklenburg. And lane 5, Holland of Mecklenburg. NCSA record in the women's 100 backstroke, 59.86, Charlotte Crush of Lakeside, 2025. Campbell Nevins, Mecklenburg Swim Club here in lane 4, 108.76. Heat 2. Heat 2, lane 2, Brenner and Nations Capital. Lane 3, Sander of Club North Swimming. Lane 4, Fatari of Nova of Virginia. Lane 5, Gottleman of North Carolina Aquatic. Lane 6, Chong of Rockville Montgomery. And lane 7, Scott of Core Swimming. Swimmers and coaches, preliminary results in event 22, men's 50 breaststroke are now posted. Time now is 3:31. Letty Bruce Scott, Core Swimming, here in lane 7, 107.57. Heat 3. Heat 3, lane 1, Jacobs Nova of Virginia. Lane 2, Druckmiller of Mecklenburg. Lane 3, Ridings of Gateway. Lane 4, Dean of Rockville Montgomery. Lane 5, Gutierrez of North Carolina Aquatic. Lane 6, Brom of Huntsville Swim Association. Lane 7, Meyer of Izwaki Aquatics. Lane 8, Carpenter of Mecklenburg. Once again, we've got a cell phone that was turned in to my announce position. If you're missing a cell phone, this might be yours. It was found at deck level, to my understanding. Josephine Dum may have your cell phone. First on the wall, Druckmiller, 107.63, Heat 4. Heat 4, lane 1, Connor of Team Greenville. Lane 2, Simon of Academy Bullets. Lane 3, Parker of Suburban Seahawks. Lane 4, Linton of Nation's Capital. Lane 5, Lutke of Academy Bullets. Lane 6, Golden of Hershey Aquatic. Lane 7, Keyworth of New Trier Aquatics. Lane 8, Spruell of North Carolina Aquatics. Heat 4 on the wall. And Claire Simon, Academy Bullets, 106.66, Heat 5. Heat 5, Lane 1, Whaley of Academy Bullets. Lane 2, Baumgartner, Huntsville Swim Association. Lane 3, Hill of Academy Bullets. Lane 4, Fitzgerald, Chicago Wolfpack. Lane 5, McIntyre, Aquatic Team of Mecklenburg. Lane 6, Burley of North Carolina Aquatic. Lane 7, Ehlers of Dad's Club. And Lane 8, Day of Rockville, Montgomery. And out of Lane 1, Samantha Whaley, Academy Bullets, 107.62, Heat 6. Heat 6, Lane 1, Dela Cruz Academy Bullets. Lane 2, Alvarado, Nassau Wildcat Aquatics. Lane 3, McDonald, Huntsville Swim Association. Lane 4, Blue of Fast Tigers. Lane 5, Massimino, Chicago Wolfpack. Lane 6, Edinburgh, Nation's Capital. Lane 7, Morgan of Nation's Capital. And Lane 8, McAfee of Zionsville Swim Club. Vanessa Alvarado of Nassau Wildcat Aquatics, 108.18, Heat 7. Just a reminder to swimmers, if you head up to the upper level of the Natatorium, you must be dried off and you must have shoes on, as per safety regulations of the IU Natatorium staff. Heat 7. Heat 7, lane 1, Bill Geiser, Irish Aquatics. Lane 2, Drummond Aquatic Team of Mecklenburg. Lane 3, Carvalho of Nova of Virginia. Lane 4, Dunfield of Ole Swimming. Lane 5, Curry of Tide Riders. Lane 6, Stucker of Lakeside. And lane 8, Blinderman of Waukesha Express. We need a coach from Mansfield Aquatic. Coach from Mansfield Aquatic to the lower admin table. Here in Heat 7, Gabby Carvalho, Nova of Virginia, 107.34, heading into Heat 8. Heat 8, lane 1, Sanchez for Chicago Wolfpack. Lane 2, Brown for Tide Riders. Lane 3, Shiflett for Nations Capital. Lane 4, Connor for Aquatic Team of Mecklenburg. Lane 5, Kilty for Nations Capital. Lane 6, Carestas of Mecklenburg. Lane 7, Inman of Rockville Montgomery. And lane 8, Lee of Excel Aquatics. Grayson Connor, Aquatic Team of Mecklenburg, 106.72. Heat 9. Heat 9, Lane 1, Slater for Mansfield Aquatic. Lane 2, Tang for Nova of Virginia. Lane 3, Jones for Lakeside. Lane 4, Yang for Sandpipers of Nevada. 5, Pepper for Nova of Virginia. Lane 6, Alexander of Team Greenville. 7, Mug for Tide Riders. And Lane 8, Hayon for Brownsburg Swim Club. Abigail Slater, 105.99. Quick so far. Here's Heat 10. Heat 10, Lane 1, Brown for Kentucky Aquatics. Lane 2, Dealey for Excel Aquatics. Lane 3, Brzezinski for Waukesha Express. Lane 4, Atwood for New Trier. Lane 5, O'Hara from Nation's Capital. Lane 6, Della Duca from New Trier. Lane 7, Vanna from Sandpipers of Nevada. And Lane 8, Shumley of Tide Riders. Lane 5, Kaylin O'Hara, Nation's Capital, 106.44 into Heat 11. Heat 11, Lane 1, Lewis for Excel. Lane 2, Smith for Eagle Swimming. Lane 3, Cooksey for Lakeside. Lane 4, Kret for New Trier. Lane 5, Shapiro for Lakeside. Lane 6, Moore for Academy Bullets. 7 for Jenkins. 7, it's Jenkins for Nation's Capital. And Lane 8, Trent for Fort Wayne Swim Team. Abby Moore, Academy Bullets, 105.99. Heat 12. at 105.99, tied the quick time out of heat 9 by Abigail Slater. So 2 swimmers at 105.99. Heat 12 in the water now. Lane 1, Bluthman for Ole. Lane 2, Brockman for Chicago Wolfpack. Lane 3, Ullman for Mecklenburg. Lane 4, Stanek for Academy Bullets. Lane 5, Heberstroke for Gateway. Lane 6, De Oliveira from Eagle Swim Team. Lane 7, Devlin for Wilmington Aquatic. And lane 8, Alberts for Edina Swim Club. And first to touch, Bluthman from Ole Swimming, 105.60, heat 13. Heat 13, lane 1, Teeter for Huntsville Swim Association. Lane 2, Hayes for Long Island Aquatic. Lane 3, Boland for Mecklenburg. Lane 4, Klingon-Smith for Team Pittsburgh. Lane 5, Antonuski for Waukesha Express. 6, Lurch for Stingrays. Lane 7, Nuara for Chicago Wolfpack. And lane 8, Meyer for Waukesha Express. Heat 13 coming into the wall, and first to touch, Lila Teeter, Huntsville Swim Association, 105.33, heat 14. Heat 14, the first of our circle-seated heats in the preliminaries of women's 100 backstroke. Lane 1, Gunther for Aquatic Team of Mecklenburg. Lane 2, Miller for Academy Bullets. Lane 3, Naraki also for the Bullets. Lane 4, Antonuski of Waukesha Express. Lane 5, Fetters for Fort Wayne Swim Team. Lane 6, Maston for Machine Aquatics. Lane 7, Migmong of Chicago Wolfpack. And lane 8, Toller for Nation's Capital. Ella Antonuski of Waukesha Express, 102.97. Heat 15. Heat 15, lane 1, Catalina from Nation's Capital. Lane 2, Canine for Tide Riders. Lane 3, DeGroot for Sharks. Lane 4, Brager for Lakeside. Lane 5, Graziani also for Lakeside. Lane 6, Munchel for Nation's Capital. Lane 7, McCarter for Mecklenburg. And lane 8, Music for Nassau Wildcat Aquatics. Casey Brager, Lakeside in lane 4, 102.94. Heat 16. This is our final preliminary heat in women's 100 backstroke. Lane 1, Rice for Tide Riders. Lane 2, White for Mecklenburg. Lane 3, Vidarson for Mecklenburg. Lane 4, Brooks for Kentucky Aquatics. Lane 5, Chand for Huntsville Swim Association. Lane 6, Brewster for Mecklenburg. 7, Patton for Fast Tigers. And lane 8, Hook for Nation's Capital. Turning at the 50, Brooks 29.90 ahead of Chan in lane 5. Quick time out of the last heat, 102.94. Casey Brager of Lakeside. Kennedy Brooks, Kentucky Aquatics out front. Kennedy Brooks, 101.91, our quickest posting in the preliminaries of women's 100 backstroke. We are going to have a quick swim off here before we head into the men's 200 butterfly. Swim off coming up in lane 4, Molly Daly, Lakeside. Lane 5, Lizzie Struder, Stingrays. They tied at a 35.54 in the women's 100 back, and they're going to do this as a 50. I'm sorry, this is a swim off in women's 50 breaststroke. I was reading one other thing on the page. Swim off in women's 50 breaststroke. That works out better. Molly Daly, Lakeside with the edge coming into the wall, 34.64. And Lizzie Struder, 35.05, both times quicker than their earlier swims. Now heading into 13 preliminary heats of men's 200 butterfly. We're going to have another swim off following heat 6 of this event. So we'll take a brief break for another swim off following heat 6 of the men's 200 butterfly, and we'll get right back into heat 7. Heat 1. Heat 1, lane 2, Ike Thomason, Team Greenville. Lane 3, Declan Komalaski, North Carolina Aquatic Club. Lane 4, Fisher Jakowski, Iswaki Aquatics. Lane 5, Alex Arluck, Nation's Capital. And lane 6, Henry Hassenstab of Tide Riders. Hassenstab 100 turn, 101.46. Fisher Jankowski is Waukee Aquatics, second at the 100. Lane 4, 102.41. Swimmers and Coaches event 23 is now officially posted. That's the women's 100 backstroke. Time now 11:04. Declan Komalaski, 2:11:35. Heat 2. Heat 2, lane 1, Gaither of Aquatic Team of Mecklenburg. Lane 2, Agans for Team Pittsburgh. Lane 3, Shahaney of Eagle Swim Team. Lane 4, Julian for Nova of Virginia. Lane 5, Fraser of Huntsville Swim Association. Lane 6, Leo of Nation's Capital. Lane 7, Palavinpour of Machine Aquatics. And lane 8, Balutansky of Ole Swimming. Swimmers, if you are a top seed in an individual event this evening, you want to pick out your walkout music, come see me before you go back for your afternoon break. Again, swimmers, if you're a top seed in an individual event, you want to pick out your walkout music for tonight, please see me before you head back for your afternoon break. Shahaney turned at the 100, 101.95 ahead of Agans in lane 2. Raul Shahaney, Eagle Swim Team in lane 3. 210.39. Heat 3. Heat 3, lane 1. Ronald Liu of Dad's Club. Lane 2 is Carson Crease of Lakeside. Lane 3, Brendan Rump, Nation's Capital. Lane 4, Jacob Sue of North Carolina. Lane 5 is Waukee Aquatics, Grayson Ruddock. Lane 6, Jonathan Nelson of Ole Swimming. Lane 7, Nixon Fow of Lakeside. Lane 8, Aiden Torres, Academy Bullets. Need a coaching representative from Mecklenburg Swim Association and Nation's Capital to the lower admin table. Need to see a coach from Mecklenburg Swim Association and Nation's Capital at the lower admin table. Sue first to touch here in Heat 3, 210.76. Into Heat 4 we go. Heat 4, lane 1, Charlie Mittler, North Carolina Aquatic. Lane 2, Aaron Neville, Suburban Seahawks. Lane 3, Grant Robinson, Chicago Wolfpack. Lane 4, Mason Mullering of Gateway. Lane 5, Cooper Price of Lakeside. Lane 6, David House of Ole Swimming. Lane 7, Griffin Weisenberg, Nation's Capital. And lane 8, Phoenix Vanukas of Rockville Montgomery. Robinson in lane 3, 100.12. House in lane 6, 100.22. David House, Ole Swimming to the front in lane 6 at the 150, 133.38 ahead of Robinson in lane 3. David House plants it on the wall in a 207.96. Heat 5. Heat 5, Lane 1, Landon Quinn, Mountain Valley Aquatics. Lane 3, Lucas Acevedo of Long Island Aquatic Club. Lane 4, Isaac Solis of Rockville, Montgomery. Lane 5, Sam Schwabe, Nova of Virginia. Lane 6, Denali Cutbush Taylor from North Carolina Aquatic. Lane 7, Matthew Char of Nation's Capital. And Lane 8, Reese Domkowski of Fort Wayne Swim Team. Sam Schwabe, 100 point at the 100. And Solis from Rockville, Montgomery was second at the 100, 101.01. Sam Schwabe, Nova, Virginia, still out front at the 150, 132.57. Schwabe finishes off his swim, 207.03. Heat 6. Heat 6, Lane 1, Harrison Lee, Lakeside Swim Team. Lane 2, Harris Abernathy, Old North State Aquatics. Lane 3, Heston Steckel, Germantown Academy. Lane 4, Jack White, Nation's Capital. Lane 5, Long Island Express, Toby Husu. Lane 6, Samuel Nunez, Kentucky Aquatics. Lane 7, Keegan Brown, Tide Riders. And Lane 8, Jackson Logsdon, Lakeside. At the conclusion of the heat that's in the water, we're going to have a brief break for another swim-off in women's 50 breaststroke. We'll do that before heading into Heat 7. Chuck White leading at the 100, 100.76. Second position, Lane 8, Jackson Logsdon, Lakeside Swim Team, who turned in a 101.14. Now into the lead, Jackson Logsdon, Lakeside. In lane 8, he turned at the 150, 134.52 ahead of White. And it's going to be Jackson Longston, Lakeside Swim Team in lane 8 in a time of 2:09.78. All right, quick swim off in women's 50 breaststroke now. Swimming in lane 4, Sophia Rogenbuck of Ole. Lane 5, Annie Tansey of Rockville, Montgomery. Close one here. Tansey maybe with the edge coming into the wall. And Annie Tansey, Rockville, Montgomery, 34.83. Picking up the men's 200 butterfly again, heat 7. Heat 7, lane 1. Gabe Schwabe, Nova of Virginia. Lane 2, Jamie Acaresi, also Nova of Virginia. Lane 3, Thomas Kolka, Nation's Capital. Lane 4, Nathan Searles, Tsunami Swim Team. Lane 5, Will Rose, Lakeside Swim Team. Lane 6, Ian Naranjo, Nation's Capital. Lane 7, Jackson Wagner, Academy Bullets. Lane 8, Max Halprin, North Carolina Aquatic. Thomas Kalka, 209.49. Heat 8. Heat 8, Lane 1, Mitchell Robinson for Nations Capital. Lane 2, Kyrie Slater for Zionsville. Lane 3, Samuel Kohlhofer for H2Oki Aquatics. Lane 4, Dylan Haver for Sharks. Lane 5, Levi Fullweiler for Nations Capital. Lane 6, Walker Simpson for Team Greenville. Lane 7, Forrest Thompson for Lakeside. And Lane 8 for New Trier is Leo Korbadiski. Out front at the 100, Samuel Kohlhofer, H2Oki Aquatics, turns in a 108.08. Second position, Slater, 10054. Levi Fullweiler, Nations Capital, 209.21, Heat 9. Heat 9, Lane 1, Keegan Metz, Academy Bullets. Lane 2, Walker Price, Lakeside. Lane 3, Christopher Connors, Nova of Virginia. Lane 4, Enzo Fontana, Nations Capital. Lane 5, Max Moldovan, Chicago Wolfpack. Lane 6, Daniel Bungie, Nova of Virginia. Lane 7, Bryson Andrews, Team Greenville. And Lane 8, Jacob Phillips of Kentucky Aquatics. Max Moldovan turning at the 100, Chicago Wolfpack, 100.36. Had a Jacob Phillips, Kentucky Aquatics in lane 8, who turned in a 101.29. Max Moldovan, Chicago Wolfpack, 207.15. Heat 10. Heat 10, lane 1, Josh Heckler, Edina Swim Club. Lane 2, Carter Murphy, Nation's Capital. Lane 3, Hugh Harrell, Nova of Virginia. Lane 4, Roman Drews, Rockville, Montgomery. Lane 5, Billy Porter, Eagle Swim Team. Lane 6, Steeler Huwell, Waukesha Express. Lane 7, Jake Sidya of Mansfield Aquatic. And lane 8, Carter Schultz from Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. Steeler Huwell, Waukesha Express, 59.49 at the 100. Carter Murphy, Nation's Capital, lane 2, 100.10, second position. Now Carter Murphy to the front at the 150, turned into 132.91 ahead of Huwell. Drews was third in lane 4. Carter Murphy, Nation's Capital, here in lane 2. Will be first on the wall in heat 10, a time of 2:06.61. Heat 11. Heat 11, the first of our circle-seated heats in the preliminaries of the men's 200 butterfly. Lane 1 is Augustus Friedel, course swimming. Lane 2, Patrick O'Connor, Academy Bullets. Lane 3, Sam Gow, Sandpipers of Nevada. Lane 4, Dan Janitis, Academy Bullets. Lane 5, Connor Barlotta, Nation's Capital. Lane 6, Caleb Kemet, also a Nation's Capital. Lane 7 is Quinn Mutter of Lakeside. Patrick O'Connor, Academy Bullets at the 100, 59.57. Second position, lane 5, Connor Barlotta, Nation's Capital, 59.82. Lane 2, Patrick O'Connor, Academy Bullets. On the wall in a 2:04.64. Quick so far, 2 more heats left to go, heat 12. Heat 12, lane 1, Andrew Clift, Mansfield Aquatic Club. Lane 2, Von Muir, Old North State Aquatics. Lane 3, Wyatt Ball, Zwacky Aquatics. Lane 4, Justin Shee of Eagle Swim Team. Lane 5, Hampton Stuker of Lakeside. Lane 6, Alexander Avescu of Chicago Wolfpack. Lane 7, Alexander Thomas of Dad's Club. And lane 8, Harrison Short of Mecklenburg Swimming. Shy out front at the 50, 27:07 ahead of Stuker in lane 5. Shy at the 100, 58:46. Hampton Stuker, lane 5, 59.56. Right there was Stuker, Wyatt Ball, Zwacky Aquatics in lane 3. Justin Shee, Eagle Swimming, still out front, lane 4. Oh, it closes up here. Lane 6, Maselli, or Avascu, reading down on the wrong line. Alexander Avascu, Chicago Wolfpack, 204.50, heat 13. Final preliminary heat of the men's 200 butterfly. Lane 1, Josh Farnsworth, Nova of Virginia. Lane 2, Clark Coyle, Kentucky Aquatics. Lane 3, Teddy Peterson of Mecklenburg. Lane 5, Charlie Hilton, Nova of Virginia. Lane 6, Jack Marcelli from Nation's Capital. Lane 7, Alexander Jungbluth of Rockville, Montgomery. And lane 8, Rafa Fantana of Nation's Capital. Hundred turn with Clark Coyle, Kentucky Aquatics out front, 58:45 ahead of Rafa Fontana, Nation's Capital in lane 8. Teddy Peterson, Mecklenburg in lane 3. Good looking butterfly heading into the wall. Teddy Peterson, 203.93. Our quickest time posting in the preliminaries of the men's 200 butterfly. Gentlemen, we're going to need to have you exit the pool as we got a swim-off coming up now in women's 100 backstroke. Lane 4, it'll be Mackie Toller of Nation's Capital. Lane 5, Mia Devlin of Wilmington Aquatic. They tied and their earlier swims today, 106.39. Here we go. Good luck, girls. Good start there for Mackie Toller, nation's capital. Lane 4. Swimmers and coaches, event 24 is now official, the preliminaries, and that's the men's 200 butterfly. Time now 11:38, 30-minute scratch roll in effect. The men's 200 butterfly. Mackie Toller, nation's capital, with the edge here, lane 4. And she plants it on the wall. 105.72. Mia Devlin, 106.31. Both times quicker than the earlier swim. So congratulations, ladies. So that concludes our preliminary session. Warm-ups for this afternoon, 4 o'clock. We'll see you then.